Hey guys, we got an amazing hutch here. This is Bobby.
Nice to meet you.
This is absolutely beautiful. Tell me what you got here.
It's an '85 baseball stamp. I just built it. It's only like 30 days old. I built the whole bike in 20 days. I got the frame and fork off of the museum. Sourced other parts from Lucky PK. It's real Hutch magnesium, arrays, real red line. It's got the UltraWorks front brakes. It's got Cunningham rears. Since it had that modification, I felt it was okay to do some evil alloy. Paul brake levers.
20 days, huh?
20 days.
That's amazing.
20 days I built this bike with sourcing, the shipping, begging people to do next day.
Of course.
Begging people for UPS and not U.S. Postal Service. Shout out to John Molina. He was one of my boys. He died from COVID.
Oh, man.
He was real big in the bro scene on Facebook.
Well, it's nice that you're representing him here, That's awesome. That's awesome. Good. This is amazing. I love this setup that you got here. I mean, I think it just looks so cool.
Well, I went with the Western age, tried to give it a Western theme. Some people are saying that, like the Jack Daniels and the Stogie, what's that got to do with BMX? And my reply is, we're old enough now.
Yeah, exactly.
I want a little gangster touch, a little adulthood, and just chill.
Nice.
So,
well, this is a great bike. This Haro's yours too?
Yeah, it's an 85. It's an 85 Master. I went to the Chiley show near Rochester, New York. Dave Norrie was in my little booth messing around with it. And I ran over there. I didn't know who he was, but I got that California vibe from him.
Yeah.
And I asked him, you're somebody, aren't you? And,
he's a heck of a rider.
Yeah, he is. But the bike was riddled with repop. So since he autographed it, I just had a bug for making it correct.
Yeah.
So the brakes are all NOS. The cables are NOS.
Nice.
The levers are NOS. The cables are dated. That's supposedly the last Redline Sagino 400 in the country that was also NOS before it was installed in this bike. There's a couple things still wrong. That needs the blue letter seat.
Yeah.
I need to find the grips, which are, they're expensive.
They're very expensive, and they're hard to find too.
Yes.
Well, let me tell you something. This is a really nice Haro. This is an 85.
Yeah, it's an 85. It's now signed by Dave Norrie, Radical Rick, and then Ron.
That's awesome.
I'm very proud of it. I'm very happy with it. There was some stuff with this bike. Like when I first got it, it had a G2 stem in it, the mallet, and the last owner crushed the bars.
Yeah.
So a week before this show, I was all over Marketplace and I sourced out a friend in Texas, and I asked, I gotta have these bars, just whatever. Next day, and he came through for me, and here I am today. Drove 7.5 hours to be here.
Well, let me tell you something. You got excellent examples of a Haro and a Hutch here, and I hope you win. Good luck to you. Really nice meeting you.
Thank you.
All right, guys, we got a special one here. This is actually custom built, right? And this is Matt. Matt, tell us a little bit about this bike. I mean, it looks just like these other ones, but this one's a little bit different.
Yeah, so when I grew up, like obviously back in the 90s, that was the race bike. You know, it was the picture on the wall. It was the BMX Plus magazine cover. Everybody wanted it.
Yeah.
I always wanted it. I couldn't afford it. So I bought these two. And I wanted to combine my passion for bikes with what I do for a living. I do composite work for a living. I wanted to see, like, can I make this?
Yeah.
Can it be done? Obviously, if big money shops could probably make it, no problem. I'm going to do it in my garage, see how it turns out. And yeah, there it is.
This is absolutely amazing. And just so everybody knows, you actually made this literally from scratch.
Yep.
This is not a regular Haro made bike, but it looks just like one, and it's all carbon fiber too. So
The frame is 100% handmade, carbon fiber. The cranks are carbon fiber, sprockets carbon fiber, seat tubes carbon fiber.
absolutely amazing. And it looks just like the regular bike. And it's probably a lot lighter too.
Definitely lighter. Definitely lighter.
Well, I tell you what, you got yourself something special here. I mean, when I went over and I was panning over and I said carbon fiber, wait a minute, I don't know that they made a carbon fiber one. So this is great.
It definitely blends in. So people are like, oh, it's just a black bike. You're the first person who's noticed, like, oh, wait a minute, something special about that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this is a very special bike. It's really nice to meet you.
Thank you very much.
Good luck to you, okay?